We are recording right now. Wealthy, healthy, happy people. What's happening? This is your host for the day, Mr. Beatles, and welcome to the Wealthy, Healthy, Happy Show. I am your financial planner, your small business developer, and the Wealthy, Healthy, Happy guy that you tune into every morning from 7 a.m. to 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. My co-host, unfortunately, is not with us today. He won't be back until Monday. So guess what? You got me, the book, Santiago, and the Englishman right now headed through the journey. And what an amazing journey they are actually, what an amazing journey they're having right now. And in the last section, what we were discussing is the Englishmen and how they are chasing after, or how they have just found the what appears to be the alchemist. And what we talked about yesterday was interestingly, that you're never too old to live out your personal destiny, and understanding how important it is for you to always be evolving, always be recreating yourself along the way, and finding reasons to move, finding reasons to dream, and do more, be more, and have more. And that's what Santiago was realizing his personal legend is about. It's about him constantly evolving and never really getting comfortable in where he is while he is traveling through the desert. So he meets Fatima, and one of the most beautiful woman that he has ever met in his life. And he's like, man, I realized that you are the reason why I'm even in the desert right now. And so what I made that connection because we tend to find something as we're traveling through the desert. We find a love, we fall in love with something as we're traveling through the deserts of our life. And instead of understanding that the omen, or the thing that we've run into, the thing that we now have fallen in love with, is supposed to teach us a lesson, but is not supposed to keep us from traveling and reaching our personal legend, right? It's not supposed to keep us stagnant. We're not supposed to we're not supposed to be married to this thing so much that we take off our bag and we set up shop and we stop pursuing what we've been called to do. And so Fatima has to remind him. She says, look, I will love you for the rest of your life if I am, she says she puts herself in his picture. She says, if I'm supposed to be here when you get back, I will be here. If it is meant to be, then it will be written. And she says the famous lines that we are seeing now in the book, Maktub. She says, it is written. If it's supposed to be, you'll come back. I'll be here and I'll be waiting for you. But in loving him so much, she says, you have to do what you're called to do. And I'm not going to keep you from doing that. The ladies of the women, she says, the women of the desert love the men that are finding, that are reaching for their personal legend. And so they encourage that. And so I would ask you, who do you know in your life right now that is encouraging you to that level? Are there, is it your spouse, a best friend, a cousin, a sister, a boss, a coworker? Who is that person that is encouraging you to do the thing that you love to do, and do it without being apologetic? Telling you to go forward, to move, and to be absolutely honest about what it is that you're called to do. Do you have that person in your life? And if you don't have that person in your life, is there something that is telling you the opposite? Is there something that's telling you, you know what, you shouldn't write the book? You shouldn't try to lose 10, 15 pounds, because guess what? You're fine. I love you just the way you are, rolls and all, right? And if that's the case, if somebody is speaking against your definite major purpose, I would say you definitely have to have that conversation. And if it's too difficult to have the conversation, don't have it at all. Just move away. Just get out of the situation, because that becomes a detriment to your health. It becomes a detriment to your mind, your body, and your spirit over time. So have the courage to follow your legend. So we are now in pages 103 to 112. And guess what happens? He sees a vision. And the vision comes in the form of two hawks that are flying in the sky. And as the night is falling, he looks up in the sky, and the hawks, they are having this dance and they're circling one another, but he feels that they are actually communicating and they're trying to say something. And he gets a little frustrated because he's like, man, I wish I could understand this dance that they're doing. I wish I could understand what they're actually saying. And as he is wishing for that revelation, all of a sudden he gets one. Now the two hawks, they look like they face off and they attack one another and they collide in midair. And in that collision, he has a vision. And that vision shows him that there is getting ready to be an attack in the oasis, and he has to tell somebody. And so the vision, it comes to him, he gets the whole picture, and then now the vision goes away and he's left with having to deal with what he just saw. So immediately, what anybody would do, you know what I mean? You see something like that, you see war is imminent and it's coming, and you got to tell somebody. You're like, man, I can't tell nobody what I just saw. That's crazy. It's crazy stuff. First of all, who am I going to tell that I just saw two hawks circling in the sky, and then all of a sudden they collide into each other, and that means that the war is coming? That's almost like me saying, look, I've been listening to Peter Schiff and James and Jim Rickards for the last 48 hours. And what I saw is that the stock market is getting ready to crash, right? If I said that, I seen these two guys, they've been giving me some phenomenal information. I know that there's getting ready to be something imminent that's happening this quarter. I need to tell somebody. But when I speak out, the people are going to be like, who is this guy? What is he talking about? He has no formal education by way of finance. He's not an economist. He hasn't written a book. He's not a doctor. You know, it would just sound crazy if I came out and I said something like that. Well, that's what happened to Santiago. Santiago seen two birds in the air. They attacked each other. He has a vision, and now he has to go tell the chiefs. So he reaches out and tries to get some counsel. So he reaches out to Fatima. He said, look, Fatima, look, this is what's going on. This is what I just saw. I just saw two birds fly in the sky, attack each other. This means something bad is getting ready to happen. She said, well, you know what you got to do? You got to go tell the chief. He said, man, I can't tell the chief. They're all going to laugh at me. Matter of fact, I might get my head cut off if I tell them that this is what just happened. I seen two birds in the sky and they attacked each other, and now war is getting ready to come. Because guess what they have to do? They have to communicate. If they take me serious, they have to communicate this to everybody else that's in the village. And guess who it's going to come back to? The information that I'm getting ready to tell them. He's going to send it out to the villagers. Villagers are going to know that I'm the one that said I had the vision. And now the expectation is something better pop off. Right. And if nothing pops off, then all of a sudden I've cried wolf and I get my head cut off. So the truth becomes a very, very serious matter. And it sometimes it scares us into submitting to the fear. We submit to, well, you know what? We give ourselves so many different excuses, right? We say, well, you know what? First of all, I don't even know if the vision was real. Second of all, who am I to tell everybody else about this crazy vision that I saw? And I don't even know if it's going to come to pass. Now I'm supposed to be a prophet. Well, yes, you're supposed to prophesy into your own life. Brittany, what's going on? Thank you so much for joining. Yes, you're supposed to prophesy into your own life. You're supposed to speak your own truth. You're supposed to follow your own legend. And so he meets with who he now realizes later on is the alchemist. And the alchemist, as he approaches the alchemist to tell him, okay, I got enough courage. I'm getting ready to follow in my truth. And I'm just going to say what I saw. That's all I can do is just say what I saw. And what he didn't appreciate, Santiago, what he didn't appreciate is that the oasis and the people of the oasis, they believed in omens. They believed in the signs, right? And you have to understand that about the environment that you're in as well, is that people do believe in signs, miracles, and wonders. They just don't believe that they happen for them, right? And so, again, you have to have the courage to stand up in what you've seen. And that's speaking so much to where I am in my life right now. 12, 13, maybe, I don't know, maybe even 15 years ago, I was blessed with the gift of poetry and oration, just for lack of better terms. I was gifted with that, and I was playing football at the time, and I had a scholarship, and I was playing for Valdosta State, and I was going into my junior year, and this Omen came to me and said, I need you to stop playing college football. Matter of fact, I need you to give your scholarship back to the school because you're going to be speaking every Saturday at a different event for the entire season. How crazy is that? Very, right? But that was my Omen. And I didn't know how to take it, but I knew that I had to be obedient. And for you to know me, you don't know that I didn't grow up in the church. My mom and dad, they weren't pastors and prophets and evangelists and things like that. We we just lived a regular, good family kind of a life, But there was something about what transpired along my journey. This Omen comes up, and now I have to deliver this poetry to people that I don't know, and stand on a stage that doesn't even exist yet, and give away a scholarship that I had worked all my life to attain. And now I'm here delivering poetry. And it happened just the way I saw it in the vision. And so I'm sharing that with you to say, look, there are visions, there are signs, there are omens that you've been given already, right? At this point in our life, we've been given the Omen. And so my question to you is, what is your Omen? Brittany, what is your Omen? What is that thing that you've seen, as crazy as you think it might be, but what is that? What's that vision? What's that thing that you saw that you may or may not be following right now? And maybe you are following, but you aren't doing it to the highest degree. What is that thing for you? I don't have the Jeopardy music, so I can't let that play, but I like to know your thoughts. And while you're thinking about it, and maybe you're driving, maybe your hands are tied, maybe you're getting your kids ready for school, I don't know. But whatever that thing is, whatever that Omen is for you, I would say that it is your duty, it is your personal destiny. It's your commitment that you follow that Omen, that you do something every single day that moves you closer to that definite major purpose. And in having the courage, in challenging yourself every single day, what you'll find is that not only will you save your life, but you'll also save the lives of those that are around you as well. Because the information that we hold on the inside of us is so valuable, so valuable. And we hold our value close to us because we don't think that we're in a position to share our value with somebody else, because we're still working on ourselves, right? We say that all the time. Well, I'm not all the way perfect yet. My website isn't all the way up yet. My book isn't all the way written. You know what? I need to go back to school and get about 45 more hours before I can do fill in the blank. And we commit to that. We commit to the excuse, and we allow the excuse to keep us right where we are. And we look 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the line, and we still aren't doing what we know we were supposed to be doing 20 years prior. And so in 2016, we have to understand that there are some changes right here on our horizon, and we have to be prepared for those changes. One of the omens that has come to me as of late, and because I'm a financial planner, is we need to pay attention to our finances much more closely. We really need to identify what changes are happening in the marketplace and how that may affect your retirement, how that may affect your pension if you have one, how that may affect your 401k, your Roth IRA, and any other investments that you have in the market, because there are some changes that are coming. And it's very important that we stay in front of that news. And in not staying in counting on CNN and MSNBC and money and the president, even, we're not getting all the information. But there's so much good information out there that can help us to prepare for what's going on. So one of the people that I've been following closely is Peter Schiff. And Peter Schiff is he's a financial analyst, but he is also the CEO and founder of Schiff Gold. And so he talks a lot about hedging your position and getting out of starting to remove your position by at least 5 to 10% if you're not in gold. Do that because it is going to be a necessary currency. Again, as we move into 2016, the U.S. economy is very, very soft right now. And we can tell by how in December, the Feds raised rates by 25 basis points. And then all of a sudden, we have the worst week that we've ever had in 84 years in the stock market. That just happened. And the reason why that happens is when you raise rates and then your stock market goes like this, it means that you really have a soft economy and it can't support the hike in interest rates. So just something to think about as we move into 2016. Focus on what God, the universe, has called you to do. Focus on what you've already seen. What has the universe already showed you? And how can you package that information or that thing so that you can then deliver it to the universe? Britt, what you got to say about that? Anything? Are you on? Veda, are you still driving? Veda might still be driving. Veda, don't even, you know what? Don't even answer that because I don't want you to pull over again. Driving, Britt's driving, very good. Everybody's driving in. Well, fantastic. Well, look, guess what? Well, I'm going to be your guide in to work today. That being said, look, let me go back here. All right. So the truth. So in Santiago telling the truth, in him saying, you know what, I'm gonna be extremely honest, and I don't care what it costs me. Even if it costs me my life, there is this thing I have to get out. There's this truth I have to get out, and I have to express it. And what we don't realize about the truth that we have is that if you don't express your truth will express itself in other ways in your mind, body, and your spirit. That truth for you, if you hold it so close and you don't share it with the world, the truth will actually kill you. Does that make sense? The truth will actually kill you. And what I mean by that is, let's say God called you to be a pastor or a leader of men and women. He called you to be for me, for instance, right? So he called me to be a poet. Let's say I don't do that. Over time, because your definite major purpose does not go away, it may end up expressing itself. That energy may end up expressing itself in the form of me now having an addiction, right? And I'm having to self-medicate myself because there is something on the inside of me that I don't want to deal with. And so in order for me to deal with it, instead of expressing it honestly by saying, you know what, well, I'm just going to be a poet and I'm going to share what God puts on my heart, I'm going to drink my sorrows away because now I'm frustrated because I'm not being all that I can possibly be. And we end up finding ourselves in rush hour traffic every single morning, wondering why I'm still not doing that thing that I'm called to do. How come I'm having so much trouble? I'm having such heartache, such issue with where I am right now, not understanding, not realizing that if I would just have the courage, if I would just step out on faith, if I would just stand up for myself, which really is an interesting tag, because there was this lady named Pat, this older lady named Pat. She was 62 years old, and she was at the Reignite conference hosted by New Peak this past week, and I was there. And when she stood up, the moderator asked, he says, well, tell me, why are you here? And she says, I'm here because I need to learn how to stand up for myself. I need to learn how to step into my own truth. She said that I give my value and my truth and my energy and my time and my resources to everybody else around me, but I have yet to do it for myself. She says, so today I'm standing up for who it is that I want to be. And he says, well, who are you? And she took time to really think about who she was. And what was so amazing is that the room got so silent. It was almost like you could hear people breathing in the room. It was like that quiet. And then she spoke into the mic and she says, I'm strong and I'm able and I'm willing and I'm beautiful. And all of these affirmations just started coming out one by one. And you could see that she started to, the chains, the weights started to really they just started to fall off of her as she was affirming who she was for the first time. You know, she's 61 years old, and for the first time on Friday, she stood up for herself. And not only did she stand up for herself in her mirror, but she stood up for herself in a crowd of people that she is meeting for the first time. Hundreds of people in a room. What kind of courage does that take? Whole lot of courage, right? It takes a whole lot of courage to do that. But it was something that was so necessary for her to do, and it encouraged everybody in the room. Again, going back to what I was saying earlier, you're never too late to follow your personal legend. You're never too late to write down. It's never too late to write down on paper what it is that you want to do, where you want to go, what stuff you want to accomplish. Where we have the challenges, and where we saw Santiago have the challenge, is that Santiago felt like he wasn't qualified. He wasn't qualified to speak his truth and speak it in such a way and speak it with such clarity and boldness to a group of people, right? He had to go to the head guy and say, look, this is what I saw. War is coming. Everybody needs to be prepared. And you need to tell the rest of the city, because this could save a whole lot of people's lives. But this could save a whole lot of people's lives. There's some stuff that's inside of us that could save a whole lot of people's lives if we would just step out and do what we were called to do. Santiago, he wasn't qualified. He just learned the language of the desert, or the language of the world, 5 minutes before he actually saw the vision, right? So we see, as we read through the pages, he was just looking up at the hawks. They were circling, and he was wishing that he understood the language of the world. The soul of the world is what they call it. He was wishing that he could make that connection. Then all of a sudden, he gets a spirit of inspiration, and the whole world opens up to him. He gets a vision, and now he has to speak it. What type of confidence do you have to have? You know, like, we've been walking around with our personal omens for some years. We've seen the same vision a few times, and it haunts us. Santiago, he has the courage to, as soon as he sees the vision, he thinks about it. He has the courage, and then he steps out and moves forward. And that's what I'll leave you with today, in what you are called to do, whatever that thing is. And I know because you're driving in, you can't respond, but what is so important for us to understand is, man, there's this thing I have to do. There's something that you know you're supposed to be doing. And if you're following us on Facebook and Twitter, what I would encourage you to do is go to the Facebook page when you get to a good stopping place, or go to Twitter when you get to a good stopping place, and respond to this question. What is your omen? What have you already seen? What has the universe already shown you? And what do you know you're supposed to be doing? And then if you've identified that omen, then ask yourself, what are some things I can do starting today that will help me to move closer to my personal legend? Welcome to the show. Mr. Garcia. You've been on Blab for the last 47 days. Fantastic. Thank you for tuning into the Wealthy, Healthy, Happy Show. We're talking about The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, and the title for this particular show, what up? The title for this particular show is You're Never Too Late to Follow Your Personal Legend. And once you are shown the omen, once you are shown the signs of the universe, it is your commitment to now follow that truth. And so my question to you, Mr. Garcia, before we jump off, we got about 4 or 5 minutes left. What is your personal legend? What are you committed to doing? What is this? What is the thing that you're here for? Why are you on earth right now? And have you already been shown what you're supposed to be doing? And are you doing it? Is the question. I got a seat that's open right here that's available. So if you want to jump in right quick and talk to us, he says, I am the voice of those in need of help. Oh, that's good. That's good, because that's where Santiago was. Like right now in the book, that's where Santiago is. He has just seen the vision. So he's seen the two hawks, and the two hawks, they collide, bam. And all of a sudden the vision opens up to him. And now he has a message to deliver. And for a minute, he gets scared. I just put in my resignation letter for my job yesterday. Well, you got to jump on. We got 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I need to hear this story. All right. See what you got.
Hello, can you hear me?
Ooh.
Give me 1 second. Let me try to fix
Yes,
this.
sir.
Can you hear me now? All right. What's up, man?
I can hear you now. Loud and clear. All right. Look, Mr. Garcia, you got 2 minutes to tell us how you found your personal legend. All right. So, and what are you getting ready to do next?
What I've done is I took the kids to I used to be a teacher a few years ago. Took the kids to the Holocaust Center, and I realized that the Holocaust happened because they had no voice, no one with communication, no one was there on their behalf. And of course, I understand African heritage and slavery and so forth. But being that specific thing kind of just hit the nail on the head for me. Like, you know what? There's a lot of people that have or need somebody to speak on their behalf. Since then, I've been doing different movements to be that voice. I ended up being the news anchor for ABC News here in the Virgin Islands territory, and also a program manager for a program.
Wow.
And I just know that it's time to go ahead on, and I started my own business, Verbal Kung Fu, and we do presentations and other things like that. So I appreciate everything you do in that, man.
Very good, man. That's super exciting, man. Like, and again, like there are so many people that have that challenge of really just understanding that, again, they've already been shown what they were called to do. And you probably have been shown what you've been called to do a long time ago. And it shows, and those signs show up in different ways. And when we start learning how to pay attention to the signs, and then having the courage to follow the sign, that's when not only you become free, but everybody else that you're connected to, that you're responsible for, they become free as well. But the people around you can't free themselves unless you do what you're called to do. That's how connected we are. We all have to do our part. We all are our own salvation. And so you can't wait on somebody else because you have to do it yourself. You have to be the Superman in your own life.
Yes,
you gotta be
definitely.
the superhero. You gotta be the superhero, right? You gotta change from Clark Kent into Superman every single day. And it's a struggle. It's a challenge because you have to have the courage. And many of us don't have the courage. Many of us don't want to fight. We are trained to fight. The verbal kung fu that you talk about is the battle that we face every single day. It's the war of words that we face with ourselves every day. And when you can speak life into your situation, you defeat the other challenges. You defeat the other enemies that come up in your life. The programming that they put right here in your head, they defeat that. You defeat that by speaking the words and allowing your world to be created by the words that you speak. And so with that being said, I gotta cut it. I gotta cut it right at 7:30 today. I hate that I have to cut it so short, but I'm excited. So look, this is what I want you to do. Miss Karen Ward, I see you. Thank you for jumping on. I'm going to post this on the wealthyhealthyhappy.net on the website. So make sure that you go back there. It'll be on by it'll be connected by probably 12 o'clock this afternoon, but make sure that you go there. So if you missed the show today, make sure you connect. We'll be back on 7 a.m. tomorrow morning to 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. And we are going forward with The Alchemist. We're going to be reading pages 112 to 117. So don't miss. Hey, Mr. Garcia, congratulations. Your verbal kung fu is going to be outstanding, man. Outstanding. Yes, sir. Look, this is all the time we have. We are wealthy. We're healthy. We're happy. And we are out.